welcome to Gen X Rated Thursday edition. How we doing, Billy?
Pretty good. We got a new pope.
We do have a new pope.
The Pirates fired their manager. I mean,
Yay!
two great things happen in one day.
Oh my God, yes. Surprising the general manager didn't go as well, but
He was busy pushing the manager overboard. It was him.
upon further research, he approached the owner and said, "We should really fire this guy. He's terrible."
Yeah, because that roster you put together is so good.
Well, you don't have to squint, he said, to see that it's more talented. I've been squinting
Is
for a
it?
while. I think I just need glasses because it does look good to me.
Well, maybe a lot of us need glasses because you take away a couple of the starting pitchers and that lineup's crap.
Yeah. Well, and you're right. They have a good starting pitching staff, but they really don't have any bats, and they knew that going in, and they didn't do anything except sign Adam Frazier, who was 12 years ago a decent Pirate utility player, and now plays a lot.
Yeah, a dozen years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Pham is another one, $4 million for a guy that
Uh,
literally couldn't see the ball when he was in St. Louis 8 years ago.
yeah.
Again, back to the vision problem. So
Yeah, it's a joke.
I feel for my Pirates. I'm a big fan, but they really are doing a disservice to a lot of fans that support that team, even though they haven't won since '92,
Well, the division, yeah, but I mean, they were in the playoffs. They had that run in
'91.
13, 14, and 15.
Oh, yeah. Well, that team was pretty good. The one, and then they got rid of everybody.
Yeah, they never built on it. And they developed a new strategy. Well, we're just going to. I forget what the stupid strategy was. It was just something dumb that made no sense. Instead of letting guys swing away, we're going to work the pitchers. We're going to watch a lot of pitches and we're going to work them. Like,
Makes no sense.
yeah, I don't even know what to say. But, you go back to the good old days 90, 91, 92.
Oh yeah, loved it.
Mhm.
And to your point, it's like you work the pitchers. Maybe that worked in like the '60s and '70s and '80s when these guys pitched. Now your starter can come out in the fourth inning. What are you
Mhm.
working him for? To get to the reliever because he's so tired of striking you out on 8 pitches?
Yeah, it's sad. They've really become a joke. And
And I
it's
love that
it's a
team.
shame.
I
Yeah,
mean,
the baseball
amazing.
tradition in Pittsburgh is very deep.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we're old enough to remember, the lumber company and
Lumber
Parker and
Lightning.
Stargell and Clemente.
That's right. And then a little bit more in the '90s with Van Slyke, Bobby Bonilla, Barry Bonds, Jimmy Leland.
Hmm.
Uh,
Jeff King.
First round pick out of Arkansas. They probably could have done better. Swindell.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the Pirates' plan was to be terrible every year so they get the first pick every year, and then maybe 1 out of 4 of those turn out.
Yeah. I
Scheme.
mean, they blew out Henry Davis, and Paul Skeens, the Skeener was a no-brainer. And that guy will be wearing a Dodgers or a Yankees uniform before you know it.
Yeah, they debated about drafting him, so you knew they weren't very smart. Because
Yeah, there was was it an outfielder, a guy that supposedly had a big bat that they projected as being, a middle of the lineup hitter. He can probably hit 250.
Cruz.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of your best quotes is when they picked a guy in the first round and said that he would be a good third starter.
Yeah.
Wow.
You were talking about the number one pick. That wasn't that long ago either. It
No.
was just, and it always comes down to money. This guy does not want to spend. And he doesn't care about winning. He really doesn't care. I mean, attendance is dropping, and that's an amazing ballpark.
For sure. PNC
Uh,
Park.
fans love to chant, "Sell the team."
Does really get those 150 people really going.
Yeah, "Let's go Bucks" has devolved into "Sell the team."
And the fans aren't coming, so
No,
they're
why
going
would
to
you?
do something.
Not only that, it's just boring. It's boring baseball. I mean, if it was like if they could hit, maybe the pitching was bad and they were losing slugfest, they were scoring runs, maybe losing 9-8. You might come out to see some entertaining baseball, but they're boring.
Yeah, when
They
you
lead
score 6
in
runs,
hitting the double plays. I think they lead the league in being shut out too.
they do. Absolutely right.
Yeah, nobody's coming out for that.
No, it's and it's not that cheap to come out and bring a friend. Not happening.
No.
So that's your Bucko minute. Let's hope better.
Yeah, and that already went on for far too long. So, but I'm pretty. We're not Catholic, but I'm happy to see that the choice that they made with the Pope, someone who's going to carry on the legacy of Pope Francis and Just as importantly, somebody who is upset MAGA.
Yeah, they're really pissed off. The new pope is Robert Provost. He lived in Peru, but he's from Chicago originally. 69 years old, and he will go. He'll be forever known as Pope Leo the 14th, which is Leo. Everybody has an Uncle Leo they love, right?
Hello, Jerry.
So yeah, and Mag is really upset about him already. You can see the fans came out pretty early to take a look at this guy on the big screen. I did see on one photo there was a terrible towel out there.
Oh yeah,
pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go, Steelers, but we're not quite there yet.
Getting there. Don't get me started on the Pickett trade, which I thought was a good trade actually. So, but yeah,
Pickens, yeah. Hopefully he'll do great in Dallas. That's the hope. And then everybody says the Steelers will use those picks to get a quarterback next year. Well, you need a quarterback this year. So,
well, I think it's a smart plan. It's a sound strategy. I mean, Colbert knee-jerk reacted us right into Pickett when he probably could have got that guy in the third round. So I think it's smart. You're going to stockpile picks. You didn't see anybody you really liked this year, so you loaded up on the meat and potatoes instead of going for the fancy dessert, right? You beefed up your D line. You got a running back that fits your system. You got an edge rusher that people really like, and you got a quarterback that might turn out to be a guy. Got him in the 6th round.
Yeah.
So, but apparently it's a good class next year. They've already identified, I guess, who they really like, and they've loaded up on draft picks to be able to make that happen. So I think that was smart.
2 quarterbacks. They'll never pick in the top 5, I don't believe. So, I say let's get it going this year. Whether it's Mason, who I'm a huge fan of, Rudolph, or this Howard kid impresses, I don't know, but
could still be Aaron Rodgers. Who knows?
Oh, good point. Yeah, it starts with the line, as you said, so I'm glad they drafted wisely.
Mm-hmm. It's just good to see that they've got a plan. They've got a strategy to get a long-range guy and not, go from year to year like they did last year with, Russell Wilson, maybe, Fieldsy, perhaps.
No. Yeah, nobody wants that. So I just wanted to close on the Pope real quick. You had 133 voting Cardinals, and you need a 2/3 vote. I was reminded this morning that there was a time when they couldn't come to an agreement, and it went on for months, that finally they started starving the Cardinals so they would just make a decision, which I thought was pretty entertaining. They were like, hey, this isn't so bad. We could get to talk every day, and the food's pretty good.
Well, Cole was telling me way back when that it would take years because these guys would come, they couldn't hammer out a decision, and they'd go home. And they came from all over Europe, I guess, and they'd come, they'd argue it out, couldn't decide, they'd go home, they'd come back later, and everything took a lot longer to get back and forth. So
is that why they kept them now in the Vatican? Is that why?
Yeah.
Because of those years?
Yeah. And they took away their cell phones too, so I'm sure that sped the process.
Oh my God. Yeah, probably so. That's kind of funny. Well, welcome to the new Pope, and I'm glad we can move on. We're still missing Pope Francis. I think he did an amazing job, but he kind of set the agenda for this gentleman, and hopefully they'll stick with that. I think
so. I think they will. I mean, this is a guy who's dedicated his career to public service. I mean, he was a missionary for a long time.
Don't go all Fauci on me, okay? You saw what they did to him.
Yeah,
making money, ripping us off. That Fauci and his good times and medicine.
Yeah. Well, he's already upset MAGA just by being elected. But the thing is, in a world that's becoming increasingly authoritarian, it was nice to see the church not go backwards.
Yeah, absolutely. Props to the church for sure.
Mm-hmm.
We'll jump around in that region. This is the Persian Gulf. We have a lot of veterans that served in the Iraq War in the Persian Gulf. Trump's going to come out and wants to rename that. This does coincide with today. The House GOP did pass the Gulf of America, which nobody knows or appreciates except for MAGA, because the rest of the world will still call it the Gulf of Mexico.
It's the Gulf of Mexico.
But Trump said we did more. Okay, they were ripping us off, and Gulf of America.
It's just the dumbest thing. And, the fact that the House even took time to pass this, I mean, what a clown show.
That's what a lot of Republicans said, but they still voted for it. But go ahead.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, they're just it's a clown show. There's no other way to put it with everything that's facing us. I mean, hurricane season is getting ready to start. FEMA is in disarray. The NAO is gone, and they deleted all of their data since going back to 1980 because it makes climate change look expensive.
It is. It's going to
Yeah,
be
so
even more
we're going to get
expensive.
rid of that. So there's so many bigger fish to fry, but this is the kind of shit that they're wasting time on. And I'm surprised Trump didn't make this a contest to rename the Persian Gulf.
That would have been great. Why bother
Spoiler
when you
alert: the winner will be the Trump Gulf.
can
But cast your
Gulf of
votes today.
Trump? Yeah, that would be cool.
It's a clown show.
Listen, he doesn't need that kind of ego stroke when he's got Lutnick practically blowing him at every opportunity.
That is true.
So I just wanted to put this back up. Here's the Persian Gulf. You've got Iran, you've got Iraq, Kuwait, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia. So we're going to rename it the Arabian Gulf. Or for those of you that want to stick with the Gulf of, we'll go with the Gulf of Arabia. So basically, the Persian people are pretty upset. They feel like this is pretty offensive to Iran and why they're doing this. They're not really sure, other than to just appease and throw a little soft meat to the Arab leaders in hopes that they'll use that goodwill to help out Israel.
Well, or was it just a poke in the eye of Iran? Just
Both.
to kind of, yeah.
Both. But the Arab leaders feel like this would be a nice gift to them. Maybe they could give some concessions to Israel. I mean, Trump's never far from Israel. We saw what it did to our election here in November. We had signs in our community, vote for Israel, support Israel. The vote for Trump is a vote for Israel. And here we are. Thanks for that. They can't even handle their own business. I don't know why it got into our politics, but it still
God, it
bothers
cost us
me.
an election.
Yeah, it did. And maybe
'Cause
not
it would
a
have been
fair
harder to
election.
rig this thing with better turnout.
Correct. It would have been a lot harder to do. So just on the history of the Persian Gulf, 16th century Romans. I mean, why are we changing it now? It seemed like a pretty good name. But
Because Trump can't help himself. He's just got to get in there and fuck things up and make everything all about Trump.
and maybe ruin the peace deal that they're working on with Iran, because suck it is kind of his thing. He doesn't care.
Well, yeah, and he can't wait to turn loose the military that is just, how many jets have we lost off that aircraft carrier now?
We did lose a second one. You're right about that. They didn't say if they were avoiding heavy fire or not. I would guess not. But again, they'll come up with some kind of lie. But it's a lot of money. And lastly, I'll put up this last colorful picture because Iran said, we didn't have a problem with the Gulf of Oman. Anything that was in the area was not an issue until you start trying to offend the Iranian people just in something stupid like Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America, Arabian Gulf. Like as to your point, they just fired the last person, the chief of FEMA. We're 3 months away, or 3 weeks away from hurricanes in the Atlantic, and we have no leadership because under him, you had to fire everybody below him too because money, not going to work for us. The black lung screening in West Virginia, gone. We don't really care about that. No need to check. Energy Star. I'm sure everybody remembers the Energy Star program. It's on like your refrigerator. It's on your stoves and such. 33 years. See ya, buddy. Not interested.
We're not doing that.
Energy efficient certification sounds kind of socialist. We're done with that. I will say that program did save Americans over $500 billion in energy costs, but drill, baby, drill, man.
Yeah, wasn't putting any money in Trump's pocket.
That's right.
And that's what it's all about.
The shower, I just wasn't getting wet enough.
Oh, Jesus.
The 2026 budget does dismantle Section 8 housing. Those people have been taken for far too long and not giving back. I will recommend, and we did this with Gene in Cleveland, drive down and check out some of the Section 8 housing and just see how we spoil these people with shelter and a roof over their head. I mean, we're really, they really took advantage of us.
Yeah, how dare they, playing us for a bunch of suckers
And rubes.
and rubes.
And lastly, they're shutting down the CDC's Infection Control Committee. I mean, what do you need a committee for? Yeah, it's infectious. Okay, enough. Enough said.
Now that we've got the screw flies coming.
Oh my God. That's a Saturday edition. We're going to talk about the screw flies. That thing was terrifying. Oh my God. We're coming, people. You may want to Google that before we talk on Saturday.
Yeah.
Terrifying. Oh my God. Terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have some visuals too. I'll try to keep it kind of clean, but.
And measles is still making the rounds.
Measles are pretty big. I guess maybe we should jump to our new, Dr. Casey Means, I'm sorry. New Surgeon General appointee is coming forth. And I don't necessarily disagree with a lot of what she says. Now, she was part of the Make America Healthy Again. So she was on the JFK or RFK train, very in deep with him. She was part of the decision to fall under Trump's sword and become, one of them. She did negotiate. So she's pretty tight with RFK Jr. It's not surprising that she would be here. Let me put up her photo. Here she is with Megyn Kelly. Everybody loves her. Great job, Megyn. And here she is as well. So the Surgeon General oversees about 6,000 members of the U.S. Public Health Service Committee Corps. And they basically lead the voice of public health and have authority over issues and advisories on major health threats. Seems kind of important. It's not like they're, Fauci ripping people off. They're just supposed to give advice. So again, she went to Stanford. She got her medical degree at Stanford. She did not. She dropped out of her residency, which means she can't be board certified. Again, not a strike against her by any means. You make your choices. Maybe she wanted to go in. Trump said she went into research. First, Trump said, I don't know her. Highly recommended by Bobby, but I don't know her, never met her. Because he has to distance himself. But then he said she could be one of the greatest surgeon generals ever in the history of surgeon generals.
Or at least top three.
Top three for sure. Brilliant. Graduated first in her class at Stanford. I don't think so. Again, I'm not demeaning her. Choose the path that you want. The issue that I have with her is that, and her license is inactive. So I'm not saying you have to be a doctor to be a surgeon general or a surgeon to do it, but
or a general. You don't have to be a general either. But
he would get things done, or she. Trust me. But what I don't like is, she has issue with a lot of things that I don't have a problem with. We won't even talk about vaccinations because, of course, with Bobby, that's not something we're going to talk about. But she had trouble with processed foods, lack of sleep. She had a whole laundry list of things that were not taught in medical school, which isn't supposed to disparage medical school. I mean, you go there to learn certain things that are very important to life-saving, depending on the field you go into. I appreciate that she understands food is important to your diet and how you feel and your health. And sleep, 5 nights of sleep deprivation, she said, and you could be pre-diabetic, just like that. 5 nights, which had me a little bit worried.
Well, yeah, but I don't know, and I'm not a dietitian, but I've been learning a bit about this, and I don't know if that's a permanent thing. I mean, I think it does increase your insulin resistance and raise your blood sugar, but I don't know if that makes you permanently put you in a permanent state of.
I wouldn't think so either.
So that I don't know, but yeah, you miss a couple of nights of sleep, and yeah, you're going to feel it, and it does affect your body for sure.
Absolutely. So again, we're agreeing and would like to have this discussion, but I feel like she just tries to create adversaries to all of this. Processed food, yes, we can all agree it's not good for you, but
it's not.
It's really hard in certain areas of a city to get fresh fruits and vegetables for one. For two, to get fresh food in general is not an easy thing. And then you have to have time. You have to have time to meal prep, meal plan, and get the food and pay for it. It has to become part of your lifestyle. And I don't think that a lot of people that are doing the American thing, working 2 and 3 jobs, have that kind of time. If you ask them, or access, and if you ask them, hey, would you like to eat better and feel more healthy? All hands would go up. But it's not something that we present to most people. So again, I just feel like she puts, she called it the lying left, and just uses these talking points to kind of make somebody bad in this equation. And this is kind of where we are.
I mean, if there is a boogeyman in this, it's the big food industry. I mean, a lot of the labeling is misleading, and a lot of the foods that they're putting out, they know they're not healthy. I mean, just because they stamp low fat on something doesn't mean it's healthy, and there could be an effort to clean that up, to make healthier foods more available. There absolutely could be, and to make the information more available. I mean, how outdated is the food pyramid?
Yeah, pretty outdated.
And we're finding out that certain diets aren't as unhealthy as we thought. That butter is not going to kill you. Drinking real milk is not going to kill you. Obviously you want to get a lot of your carbs from fruits and vegetables, right? But maybe loading up on those empty simple carbs is not good for you. Maybe that's not that healthy. And maybe the occasional red meat is not going to kill you either. There is a lot of misinformation, but the food industry makes a lot of money off of that.
They have a lot of lobbyists, and they put a lot of money into politicians' pockets that keep this trend going. To your point, you'll have Fruit Loops, and I'm using this because of RFK Jr., because he puts them at the top of the pyramid. I think, as we talked about, anybody that's eating Fruit Loops knows that it's really high in sugar. I'm getting a sugar rush. I'll drink all that milk because it's now covered in a flavor dye. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
But it does say on the bottom that it's vitamin fortified.
Yeah, that's another big myth, that they put that on there and they stamp it on there and they think it's okay, and that is not necessarily the truth. So yeah, that's absolutely correct. I agree with that 100%.
And you can stamp guarantee on it, but you might want to put your head up the butcher's ass just to make sure.
That's right, Tommy boy.
Yeah, I just I don't know. Like I'm not anti this woman, but I just kind of feel like her presentation to find the boogeyman or to cast these issues onto one side or the other is kind of silly. Kennedy's doing a terrible job in his position, because again, he's creating this, why didn't they do this before I got here? And again, I keep coming back to Fauci, because this is a guy that's gave his whole life to this, to medicine and helping people. He was right there on the fronts of HIV, etc. And then some big mouth, fake-haired moron comes out, and all of a sudden you tarnish him, and then he's got to get security for his family. And then once you get reelected, because you're a giant yellow turd, you take away his security because you're a little tiny man and you just don't know history at all.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and you don't understand public service, and it's ironic that a lot of those people that are calling for Fauci's head are probably alive today because of Fauci.
Yeah, for sure. Great point. And he didn't make a ton of money off this stuff. No. It's just, you're just trying to create boogeymen, and I feel like it's offensive. And I do feel like we're getting to the point where this is so over the top that people are starting to catch on to this, I hope.
Let's hope so. How could you not at this point?
It's pretty crazy. Well, because they do a really good job of messaging to the people that they actually want to hear this stuff. And then those people are ignorant enough to run with it and have enough hate in their heart to just want to go with it. So that's what we do. And that's how we do. I wanted to move on to, let me see if I could pull this up. Well, just in that theme, to kind of talk about, they came out with a word called Maga, Maoism, which was America's accepting of unnecessary hardship for the sake of the dear leader. This has been a hot topic with like dolls. What are we doing with these dolls? Do you need this many dolls? And I'll put this guy up because he's the dear leader of the Mao. It's more of a Maga Mao. There he is.
His hand's so tiny.
It's totally true. So he's talked about the dolls. You don't need 35 dolls. You've 11, 9, and 15-year-olds that are still playing with dolls. I mean, like,
yeah. Are there any? Because I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure that thing is not a doll the 15-year-old's playing with, but we're not even going to go there. But then you had Bassett come out and said, they're sacrificing now for a better life than their parents. And we just talked about this. This is the first generation that's not going to have a better life than their parents.
Mm-hmm.
That guy's worth $550 million. So, he's going to be fine. We're not worried about him.
He'll be okay.
But
not
you're
living on a
imposing
fixed budget.
upon us that we have to suck it up and that we need to be better. Mary Miller, she's another beaut. She's a congressperson from Illinois. Another one that is really all in on the dear leader.
Oh, she's that nutty Christian one, isn't she? Yeah, she's crazy.
Right? And she used Hitler in some talk of hers. She said her people, and a lot of farmers in her community, they're true believers in Trump. So Art of the Deal, maybe you've heard of it. Amazing book.
Amazing.
Sometime, and you'll find out that he had a lot of failures.
A lot of failures.
But again, to our point, she comes out lying left. Legacy of media lies. Like everybody's lying except for the one guy. And, do some fact checking before you just fall in line with that. So
they're not interested in facts, though. She's just pandering to the people that elected her, and they elected her because she panders to Trump and spouts out bullshit like that. There's no sense of nuance. There's no sense of fairness in any of this. It's just they like to, spout out these buzzwords and these terms, and they're just feeding raw meat to these people.
But those people are no longer on their tractors, right? I mean, things have slowed down quite a bit.
Yeah, but I guess they're going to be getting their government bailout, so they're happy.
That should not probably be a thing.
Let's hope so, because that's not right. I don't see why the general public should pay to subsidize for these people that voted for this.
No way, no how. I agree with you 1,000%. To that point, we do have Trump had his big announcement today. He told everybody yesterday he was going to have this huge announcement.
Huge.
Long time coming. Major deal. And the major deal was he did come to a tariff deal with the UK. And could you imagine our friends over in the UK? We now have a deal with. Now, keep in mind that we have a trade surplus with them. We didn't have a deficit. The tariffs didn't change. I think we do 2 to 3% trading with them. So not a lot. Not a lot of their products do we love. Of that, we're going to keep the tariff at 10%. So that doesn't change. But the UK is going to kind of make out on this because we'll still pay as consumers of products that come over that 10%, but they won't be paying it. They're going to pay less.
That's another Trumpian victory.
It's backwards. He's
backwards. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But again, he gets to dominate the news cycle, and he gets to make a statement and claim victory. And then if you look at the fine print, you see that you've been screwed.
Yeah. Lutnick said that Art of the Deal, this guy, maybe I'm talking about this deal, but he is the guy. What an amazing deal maker. I did want to point out that the point behind this whole UK thing was more directed to the stock market. You're talking about cars and steel, right? The cars that are now going to be discounted, you're going to save on this: Rolls-Royce, Bentley, Jaguar, Range Rover, Aston Martin, and Mini. I mean, you might be able to afford a Mini. I don't know.
Maybe. I just remember Ron George's Jaguar being broken down every other week in the Players parking lot. And Jamal Anderson couldn't wait to get rid of that crappy Land Rover he had.
Yeah. Well, you have to insure them. Servicing them is awfully expensive as well. And oftentimes it's not a great product. The Range Rover in particular, a lot of people have said, avoid. You don't have to tell me. It's not on my radar. I'm not a car guy, but I certainly wouldn't be caught in that or a G-Wagon because I'm just not that cool. nor do I aspire to be.
Yeah.
On the stock market part, Trump did make another announcement today. Invest. Okay, it's going to be like a rocket ship, straight up. And I guess the background to that is that the tariffs with China, which China's begging us to make a deal. They're just calling him all day. He's going to cut those tariffs from 145% down to 50%, in hopes that maybe they'll take his call now and stop playing the Obama speeches in his ear.
Yeah, I don't see China backing down on this one.
I did see that the Chinese president was in Russia. They're getting pretty cozy and tight. And just to tie in what Trump historically knows nothing about, when they told him that the ports in Seattle, Los Angeles are super light, they're not bringing any product in, he feels that instead of losing $5 trillion to China, we're not losing anything now because nothing's coming off the boat. Nothing's going on the shelf, as if it's like a zero-sum game. Like he has no idea how tariffs work, even though it's his favorite word. And it's such an amazing word, right up there with groceries. That doesn't even make sense.
He has no idea how anything works. I mean, even basic economics. I mean, Jesus, look how many times he went bankrupt.
6.
He's completely ignorant. He knows nothing and cares to know nothing. But, empty ports mean empty shelves.
It's coming. I mean, Walmart has the meat looks a little bit picked over. They do have other places where there's shortages on certain goods and services, well, goods mainly, but it's coming. In the next couple of weeks, you're going to see it. And I'm not saying, hey, the sky is falling. I'm just saying, let's be aware of what we voted for and what we're accepting. Not just the golden age and we're all going to be rich and the wealthiest country, wealth. That doesn't really include us. And I think we need to catch on to that. The 19 richest households saw a $1 trillion increase in wealth just last year. 19 households, 1 year. I mean,
that's obscene.
That's bigger than Switzerland's entire economy. And I just don't know. With that kind of relief, my anxiety would go away. Oh my God, I'm so rich. Maybe I could do some good. Maybe I could, help somebody out. But these guys just don't take it in that vein. And it's
they just hoard it.
Gross.
They hoard it and they want more.
Well, they're going to get more. Trump's family alone, with the crypto scams that they've been running, their net worth is up $2.9 billion, $2.9 billion in the last 6 months.
Unbelievable.
And that's why you're not seeing so much of Eric and Junior on TV, because they're just taking their wheelbarrow around and collecting money.
Yeah.
So, I guess it's working for some people, but I really think that the majority of us need to realize that we're not getting anything for this.
It is not trickling down.
And that leads me to the budget. So we talked about all this money is going to somebody, and then Homeland Security. They were talking to Kristi Noem today. She's over budget. Imagine this. Let me see if I can find some Kristi time.
Those costumes are expensive.
I mean, yes. Trips down to El Salvador. Today she was in.
That filler's not cheap either, is it?
No, I mean, you have to go back for that stuff. Again, here she is in El Salvador. We just do these photo ops, and it's so important to really get this message out. Today she was in Springfield, Illinois, and talking about the tens of thousands of immigrants that came in and just in the last 8 days murdered, I don't know, 1,000 people, maybe more.
So, yeah, okay.
I'm just saying, you can't even make it up. It's like Bondi with fentanyl and how many lives Trump saved.
225 million.
Exactly. I mean, you can't make that stuff up. So Homeland Security will be broke by July. The fiscal year goes to September. So we love ICE. We love Homeland Security. We love rounding people up. But those trips that they were sending people to El Salvador, and 90% of the people had to come back because they weren't actually supposed to be picked up, cost us tens of thousands of dollars per person. So I know where her budget went, but maybe she needs to calm it down, get behind the desk and like hang out a little bit. I mean,
Maybe actually do her job, you mean, instead of running around cosplaying and getting photo ops? Huh,
yes.
yeah.
Yes, please.
Not
And
really her thing.
that little podium in Springfield was sad. Because it got the little presidential seal on it. It was like a little thing. It looked like a card table. It's like, this is embarrassing.
She's kind of sad.
Yeah. The only person worse than her at budgeting money is apparently Kash Patel. He was on Capitol Hill today, refusing to give Congress a budget. He wants more money. He wants billions more because he feels like the FBI really needs that. Though people say he's spending more time in the club than he is at work.
Yeah, man, that's how you get the ladies.
And he got kind of snippy with some people, and they're like, hey, this is our job as legislators. We need this budget. You need to give us numbers so we can make a budget. We just can't continue to give you billions of dollars to go hang out with Wayne Gretzky. Keeping in mind, Wayne Gretzky is the Canadian great that Trump was trying to refer to, not Ovechkin, who's actually Russian.
Yeah. Poor
Great
Wayno.
sports
He's getting
mind.
kicked around.
Yeah, I know so much about sports. So he got Sanders' kid drafted just by making a comment. What round was that?
7th round? Or was it the 6th?
I was going to say the 5th round.
5th?
Still.
Either way.
He was going to be a top 3 pick, okay? Yeah. So, yeah, the only people worse with money would be Kash and the FBI, just throwing it away. Lastly, on the economic front, Japan's getting a little bit tired of us talking smack on them. Their pushback will be that if you'd like us to crash your economy, we'll be dropping $1 trillion in U.S. Treasury options. So here's something. Take it down a notch or two. Quit messing with our allies before we fuck around and find out.
Well, some people online speculate that that's what Trump wants. He wants to
Probably.
bankrupt this country.
Probably. Well, right into his bank account. I mean, his shit's not in this country. You think his is at Bank of America?
Yeah. So
yeah, not really.
I wouldn't put anything past this guy.
Or his cohorts. I mean,
or his cohorts, yeah. The people actually pulling the strings. None of this would surprise me.
And this makes Melania look super smart. I think they've totaled, she spent 14 days at the White House since January. It's May. Coming up on the halfway point of the year in June. She spent 14 days in the White House.
Can you blame her?
Talk about be best. She is amazing.
I mean, she ditched him right after the Pope's funeral in Rome.
She took the Suburban. He was like, no, honey, take the helicopter. Take the helicopter.
Yeah.
Oh, no, she didn't.
Not falling for that one.
What a dick. What a dick.
Yeah.
But you know what? They say that the fake Melania is a lot nicer to him. So I get that.
Sure.
All right. I'm going to put up this woman here because a lot of people really love her to death. You will notice on her chest that, more crosses to distract from what I'm actually doing. My happy ending before was about VOA, Voice of America. There was an injunction to allow them to come back on the air. That started this week, that they were going to be allowed to come back. And the information that I got now is that Carrie Lake will be using OAN. That's One America News.
Oh, God. Yeah. That's like way to the right of even Fox.
I know, it's crazy. So she's going to use their video and news feeds. She also said that's an American-owned family company, and they're going to do it for free, just for Trump, because they really like Trumpy. So they're going to do it for Trump. It's not, we're saving money already. But the problem is OAN was sued for spreading 2020 election fraud claims. They had theories about coronavirus epidemic, which were just way out there.
They're way out there.
And the whole point of VOA is supposed to be, pro-democracy. We put out information for the rest of the world that isn't propaganda, right? I don't think she's going to be able to do this, Kristi Noem. I will put up another one of their news people, and you may recognize him if I can find him, because a lot of people remember him for other things. But oh, here he is. This guy. Oh my goodness gracious, he got a job pretty quickly because
Oh God.
the Matt Gaetz show.
Uh,
Yeah, he is just kind of turning into Eddie Munster before our very
this
eyes.
dude is a creeper.
Look at that guy.
Or Beavis.
Yeah, and let's not forget he has a Mar-a-Lago face, so
Yeah, he does.
all good. He's looking like $1 million. But again, OAN is the biggest purveyor of Trump's baseless conspiracy theories, and now they're going to be the ones presenting our news to the world.
Yeah. Oh,
Sounds like a loser.
a giant loser.
And I think there will be some pushback on that.
I hope so. And you know, the rest of the world's tuning us out anyway.
I know. Well, they get it. They're not stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not going to just fall in line because Carrie Lake, who lost her election bid, just continued to sue and go to the courts.
Yeah. Oh, she's ridiculous. She really
it's almost
is.
like a pity hire that they even put her up there. I mean, gosh.
I know. Well, we got to do something with her.
Yeah, what are we going to do with her? Get her to pipe down a bit.
Yeah. She's calling every day. Just give her something to do.
This is another one of their press people. And basically all she does is go up there and just tell things that make Trump
look.
Yeah,
she's ridiculous.
She's pretty terrible. But
yeah, she really is.
But again, this is what the rest of the world's going to have to look and listen to. Lake started by firing a lot of the office staff and journalists that have been there for a long time, because it's a new message that we're going to be given.
Yeah, that's the really fucked up part, when people that are actually professionals that have devoted their careers to, you know, journalism and, you know, spreading facts and not misinformation and actually getting to the heart of a story, when those people lose their jobs because, you know, you've got a Trump lackey in charge now. We're just going to spread propaganda and a bunch of bullshit. So that's sad. That's really fucked up.
Well, and I think it was a bigger deal back in the day when we were trying to spread democracy around the world and be that good person. That's not us anymore. And it's not really a thing that's on the radar. So I'm less worried about the rest of the world, because I know they're able to read independent foreign press and get the poop on things that we don't get here necessarily.
Yeah.
But as we talked about, it has to start here. It has to start with our local investigative reporters, our journalists here. I know that that most of the local news media is owned by Sinclair.
Oh yeah.
So come Christmas time, you can check at all the different news stations around the country, and they're all reading off the same script, which is really entertaining when you put it together and all the squares pop up and they're all saying the same thing in their own little riff. Yeah. Very entertaining, but not super informative. And my point is that even with Sinclair in charge, you're starting to see these local reporters go out and actually dig and report. So as opposed to worrying about what the rest of the world's hearing, and it does concern me, but we need to start taking care of it in University City, in St. Louis, and Kansas City, like wherever you are. Yeah. We talked about the Oklahoma City story where that got great coverage when ICE punched in her door and took all her stuff and scared the pants off everybody in that house. It still hasn't been settled. But it was reported, so people are at least aware of it, and those people were getting some redemption just from the fact that they were treated so poorly. That's a start. Yeah. We saw, I think, in South Dakota, law enforcement is allowed to go in without a warrant to anybody's house, any U.S. citizen's house. Local news reported on it. They said this is fascism, authoritarianism, and went down the laundry list of where this could all lead to. And it was reported. Again, at least people are aware. If you know that it's happening to your neighbor, maybe it gives you some insight. Maybe you care. Maybe you don't.
You should, because if it's happening to your neighbor, it could happen to you next.
That's right. Oh, you're a U.S. citizen? Really doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, we're coming in.
So I'm hoping that maybe that will lead to some bigger things as far as letting us report and give feedback so people know exactly what's going on, as opposed to just reading the paper, which, as you said before, this local paper is not a conservative paper per se. Letters to the editor, great from normal people. But once they started firing people in the newsroom, every story was an AP story.
Mm-hmm.
I trust the Associated Press. Not a big deal. All I'm saying is none of it was local. It was all my AP stories and the Texas AP story. They're all in the same papers. But AP doesn't have access to the White House anymore, right?
And maybe it's for the better.
Yeah, probably.
Because, those press conferences, honestly, they're nothing but a line of bullshit anyway. So,
I know. How quickly the secondary sideshow went away. I haven't seen any clips of KK Caroline talking to her MAGA influencers because
who was watching that?
I know, nobody.
You've got a lot of other choices. You can surely find something better to watch.
Sure. Then some guy just asked her a question that she handed him the card to read. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell me what makes President Trump so great? Oh, I'm glad you asked.
I know, right? And how do you do it, Caroline? You are amazing.
You're so amazing. Working mom.
Unbelievable. So that is something we're going to have to continue to work on. And the information's most important because once people have that, they can critically think themselves or maybe ask a friend and they can help you get to the conclusion, which is you're getting hammered. They don't care about you. And we're on our own.
Basically, yeah. And, again, like we always say, call your representatives.
Every day. Every day,
call them. You got a problem, there's something you don't like, call them and let them know. Write a letter to the editor. Talk to people.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
So let's see. I'm going to put this up because I think we've gone through enough news that maybe wasn't super uplifting as we head to the happy ending on your right.
Happy ending to the right.
Royalty-free stock photo. This is how we've fallen. Okay.
That's okay. We're not a big budget operation here. So
we are. Once I got to feed you, it's I'm done. All right, there we go. You can't even see that. Okay. I was going to start with the Chicago City Council. They are banning January 6 rioters from city employment.
Excellent.
They're just saying, not interested. Okay, we don't need you get nutty with something that the city project might be working on some project that you don't like. You can't storm City Hall.
Yeah. Oh my God. I can't believe those people are even out.
It's crazy.
Ridiculous. And yeah, and the woman who got shot, her family received a huge multi-million-dollar settlement. Like, dude, she was warned. She was breaking and entering. She was part of a riot looking to overturn an election. What did you think was going to happen? Why? Why are we paying her family?
Simply amazing. Well, and that whole thing with Hendrix using the N-word on that 5-year-old kid.
Oh my God, yeah.
And then Pierce Morgan had 2 black guys and 3 women on, and the one blonde woman was like, "Yeah, free speech. I use it all the time." Well, why do you use that word? Well, because I can, and why not? It's my right. And the 2 black panelists were just like losing their minds. But I can't even believe you're saying this on TV. Really? Because they just don't care. It's out there.
Just ignorance. They're just ignorant.
Yeah, she was definitely kind of gross. My other happy ending, this is a shorty, The Who farewell tour. This is it, baby. Once you fired the drummer, we decided this is the farewell tour.
Well, they said farewell to the drummer, so.
So they were like, you know what? We're next. All good things come to an end, Roger Daltrey said. And finally, they're going on their farewell tour.
The farewell tour. Okay.
Yeah, they won't be coming back.
Well, I don't think Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey get along that well anyway. I don't know that they ever have. So one last go round.
They definitely didn't as youth. I think once the money started rolling in, when the 2 were together, they were like, you know what? I just see you as a dollar bill.
Yeah, exactly. We can tolerate each other.
For sure.
Who's going to be the drummer?
I don't know. Probably some studio guy. Does it matter? The way Daltrey's singing? Well, really not. It ain't great.
He seems to like firing his drummers.
Well, they ruined his pace. I mean, he's trying to sing here. Yeah, I'm sure it was
Singing
the
here.
drummer's fault. Play louder. I don't have to hear him.
Turn up the hearing aid.
And I'm a big Who fan, but it
Oh,
gets
yeah, I love the
ridiculous
Who.
after a while.
Well, yeah. I mean, you've got the two main guys. You lost, John Entwistle, rest in peace. Keith Moon.
Long time.
And I don't know. You've got the two main guys, so it's not like you're out there with, two guys nobody knows under the name of the Who because, somebody hung on long enough to pass it on to somebody else who nobody knows or cares about. But you know what? I would probably still go see him since it's the last time around. I mean, I saw them, was it late 80s, early 90s on the stadium tour, and it was amazing.
Okay, to that point,
That was
80,
a long time ago.
40 some years ago.
It was like 89 or 90.
All right, 90.
Three River Stadium, but yeah.
Do the math. 35 years ago. Daltrey at that point was only in his 50s. Good show. He's 81. It's time. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's true. Just, know what?
Oh, man. You can arrange the music any way you want so that it fits with your weak pipes, but you're 81, guy.
I know. Maybe on the other hand, just, I don't know, treasure the memories of that show and go listen to Quadrophenia and call it a day.
There you go.
You might be right. You probably just saved me a couple $100.
Look at Elvis. They did the imitation coat shows. It was amazing. A little shirt on his coat on a hanger.
I've seen all the imitation coat shows, and this one's by far the best.
Second City. They never disappoint.
Was it Second City or SCTV? I can't remember, but
yeah, it was. It was SCTV.
Was it? Yeah, SCTV was awesome. SCTV was awesome.
I thought SCTV was Second City.
It is. I was thinking Saturday Night Live.
Oh yeah. No way, man. Not the imitation coat shows. And then I'm going to pop this guy up. This is the JFK Performing Center of Arts.
Kennedy Center.
We know that Trump has made himself the chairman of the board.
Mm-hmm.
He thought it sounded kind of Sinatra-y, chairman of the board. Tried to fire everybody, which he couldn't do, but he tried. Other people on the board are Pam Bondi. So not only does she do drug busts and catch bad guys, but she cleans up nicely so she can go see some performing arts. Also,
it's just ridiculous.
Susie Wiles. You know Wiles?
Whoa. Yeah, White House Chief of Staff, and one of his strategists on his campaign that was tanking until Elon Musk flipped the script.
Or flipped the switch.
Mm-hmm.
Either way.
Yeah.
You're right. And I'll only touch on that because of Starlink and stealing elections. The part of the tariff deals that he's trying to make with all these other countries, Trump is pushing hard and demanding that they take Starlink as part of the project.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, once Doge went in to very sensitive areas, all of a sudden they were finding that there were Russian cohorts with all the passwords and stuff to get into our systems.
Well, Big Ball's grandfather was a KGB agent.
And Trump loves scrubbing the balls of Putin, also KGB.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, amazing.
I think Putin makes Trump call him Big Balls when they're alone together.
And he calls him Little Mushroom. So my point with the Center of Performing Arts was that he's got a real issue because there are some performers from Les Mis, and they do not want to do the show that he's going to.
Yeah, good for them.
You have members of the cast at the Kennedy Center Performance fundraiser, where Trump's going to be, that are boycotting it. And they were given permission. They asked if anybody was uncomfortable. They didn't have to perform. There's always understudies, so it's not like the show's not going to be amazing, because it will be. But there were 10 to 12 permanent cast members who were like, not doing it, taking that night off. June 11th, enjoy, Trumpy Bear, because we will not be there.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty impressive. Now, of course, MAGA gets all pissed off, and these people shouldn't have this right to do da, 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 da. But come on. You only get free speech when it works for you, I guess.
Oh yeah, that's how it works in Maga land. I mean, everything triggers them, but they're free to, say whatever they want and call anybody any kind of racial insult or epitaph that they see fit because it's free speech, but they don't want any kind of criticism or anything. They're very sensitive.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's
Hmm.
amazing, and they're always the ones that are making everybody else the devil. Again, I'm tired of like everybody. It's not always black and white. I don't have to dislike you because we don't agree on everything. So I just kind of feel like we're seeing a lot of that today between the Surgeon General going after the media and the left wing. Good old what's her name, Mary Miller in Illinois.
Oh,
It's not
what a
about the
creep.
farmers sitting on their tractors with nothing to do because of Trump. It's about the legacy lying media.
Yeah, the legacy lion media.
Just doesn't make sense.
No, it's ridiculous.
So we're going to try and push past all that stuff and at least try and rationally talk about some things that we can agree upon, which is we're being screwed. The recession
Hmm.
is coming. Uh, JP Morgan's already talking about through June of 2026. That's a year from now, talking about the markets being in the toilet because we have a guy that nobody will tell that he's messing things up dramatically.
Yeah,
And those
and
19
profiting
families
off
don't
of,
care. I'm sorry?
and he's profiting off of it.
Oh, a ton. Well, we finally found out that he didn't resign from the Trump family business, which is what he was supposed to do the first time he was in office because
Mhm.
blind trust or no control, any of the above. None of that happened.
Yeah, they let him get away with anything and everything.
Yeah, and he's rich as can be, and they're going to build a new hotel in Dubai, I think, or someplace, maybe Qatar. That seems more likely.
Well, I'm still waiting for the Trump luxury hotel on Alcatraz Island. That's going to
Ooh,
be something.
that is going to be awesome.
I want to book a room in the Al Capone suite.
I'm pretty sure that's not happening now. I think enough people, or you know what, in a normal world, yeah, enough people would have told him. He just forgot about it. You
Yeah,
don't
all
even
you
have
have to
to tell
do
him.
when he comes up with these ridiculous, just slow walk it and he'll forget about it. Yeah, right on that, Chief. Don't you worry about it. And then, put it in the filing cabinet and he'll forget.
Well, I mean, to see Roger Goodell standing next to him as he's making all these claims is just like, why is the NFL commissioner here?
Oh,
Now you're talking about FIFA and bringing the World Cup here, and then JD Vance pops in and says, "Hey, enjoy those 3 weeks, but get out."
believe me, they're not coming here with any intention to stay. Trust me.
I'm concerned that they're
And we'll
not going
see
to
how
come at
many
all.
actually come.
That's my concern.
Yeah.
Why would you? I mean, soccer fans are fanatics. There's no doubt, and I mean, we saw it in Italy. Amazing,
Mhm.
whole towns. Premier League. It's a giant thing here as other sports fall into the toilet. Baseball, but I don't know that they would come here risking the hassle. Now all of
Yeah.
a sudden I've been detained. I mean, we see U.S. citizens that leave the country and come back and be detained. We saw two German teens um, go Airbnb to Airbnb around the world, come back here and get detained. Who wants
Yep.
to go through that? 17 days sitting in a cell,
Yeah.
waiting for due process that you may or may not get. I don't
Yeah.
think it's worth it.
No. Why would you?
I don't think they will, and I don't know if we're gonna have to do like during the pandemic where we put up posters of people in the
Type in
stand.
that crowd noise.
But if anybody could fuck up an amazing event that people love every 4 years,
It's
it's this
Trump.
guy.
It's what he does. Everything he touches, he's like the reverse Midas. Yep.
Yeah, and and they were saying how how we need to button up or tighten up our boots or belt straps and everything, but every time they go into the Oval Office, there's another gold medallion somewhere. I mean, wall to wall crap.
Uh,
And you saw where you can get it on eBay, and then you just spray paint it. Looks like
yeah,
gold.
it's just a gold-plated turd. Ridiculous.
So yeah, on that gold-plated turd note, I think we'll be done for today. But we'll see what Saturday brings, Billy. I know you might have something going on, so we'll just kind of see how it plays out.
All right, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right. Well, thanks for being uplifting today. It was a lot again, but I think It has to be
Just
discussed. You make
another
me
day
feel,
ending in Y.
yeah, and well, and you make me feel better once it's, I can read it, I can internalize it, but once I'm able to discuss with you, it becomes a little less pointed, and I can deal with it a little bit better. So
Well, good, good. And I hope, for everybody who's watching or listening, I hope they feel the same way, that at least it's been put out there and, knowing you're not alone.
yeah,
So
you
I hope that
process
helps.
it, and then maybe tell a friend about it, and then maybe they'll have a discussion with somebody else. I mean, it's
Sure.
what it's going to take. So
Spread it
comment,
around.
subscribe, and let us know if there's anything that we're missing that you would like to have included.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Billy. Well, I hope to catch you later.
All right. Sounds good.
Have a good rest of your day.
You too. Good job.
All right, buddy. Thank you. I'll
All
see you
right. See
later.
ya.